Welcome to your Full Circle Friday. My name is Sara, a certified trauma recovery coach with Full Circle Wellspring. Trauma causes a disruption in our neural pathways and can halt survivors from staying connected to themselves, others, and the world around them. They can abandon or exile parts of themselves behind a wall of shame and fear. These episodes are dedicated toward understanding trauma and learning about outside resources, adjunctive services, recommendations, techniques, coping skills, and more to support and encourage the survivor on their journey back to their authentic selves. Let's get started. Today's topic is quotes. I ingest a lot of material via podcasts, books, online certification courses, and impactful media. While I love it all and I learn all the general concepts very easily, sometimes it's hard to metabolize everything that I listen to and watch. So every day in my app called Grid Diary, I have a box for quotes and revelations. These are things that I really want to stick or something that I may want to revisit. So I jot the quotes down in this section of the journal. So today I thought it would be fun to share some of these with you that I've been accumulating over the years and by scrolling back through them and highlighting some of my favorites for you. Important notes. If I type something out with quotations in my diary, it means that I tried to type it verbatim. I almost always write the actual speaker down unless they say exactly who they are quoting. So for instance, a podcast guest might say, "My therapist likes to tell me yada, yada, yada," in which case I just write the quote that I liked and I cite it as the podcast guest name, or maybe I put the podcast guest name's therapist. If they say Martin Luther once said, then I attribute that quote to Luther himself, and I don't go back and cross-reference that quote. So now that I'm sharing these on my own podcast and blog, I'm painfully aware that these may not be 100% accurate due to the things above that I just mentioned. So this is a just in case kind of disclaimer. So with that said, if you like something you hear here, recognize that this is secondhand and proceed with caution. So let's dive in. Be the energy in the stagnation and be the stillness in the chaos. Big Sean. I'm going to achieve the shit out of being peaceful. Glennon Doyle. Attachment often masquerades as love. Brene Brown. You don't think your way into a new type of living. You live your way into a new type of thinking. Parker J. Palmer. Languishing is not the presence of mental illness. It's the absence of mental wellness. Adam Grant. Energy is expensive. Don't give it over for free to ignorance. Trent Shelton. You have to work with the yin-yang in you. Some days you're facing the shadows and some days you're facing the sun, but you are always still there. Rich Roll. Look at what happened to you, but without the extra narrative. Kimberly Snyder. You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress at the same time. I'm allowed to be excited about where I am and still look ahead at more goals. Sophia Bush. Our own histories are malleable. Paul Conti. The cosmos carries on without you. We are not central to its unfolding. Oliver Berkman. Stoicism has nothing to do with manifesting. Stoics think, act, and then accept. They do not dream, expect, and wait. They are not naive, entitled children. Ryan Holiday. I try to think about what Steve Jobs would do and then what the Dalai Lama would do. I find polar opposite spectrums of thought, combining strategy with sincerity, for instance. Jay Shetty. Retreat is all about the re-entry. Mike Posner. Postpone nothing. Seneca. We bring ourselves along, kicking and screaming on this spiritual path. Willa Baker. When you kiss your child, don't layer on top of the experience all the things that you might wish. Epictetus. Time is a human construct. It's subjective. You can create your relationship to time. Take action just a little before you feel you are ready. Find the energy by realizing that life is short. Robert Greene. When you're leveling up, your inner critic is going to pop up. Ava Johanna. Don't ascribe to malice what can be explained by incompetence. Tim Ferriss. Our only obligation is really to discover our personal legend and to honor it and to fulfill it. Paulo Coelho. Who are you if you are not you? What will your life be if it's not what you planned for? Nora McInerney. I'm not even as interested in resilience, more presilience, preventing the need for resilience. Prior to being resilient, just keep it really steady. Don't decline and bounce back. Just don't degrade at all. Dr. Ja. True freedom is freedom from yourself. Michael Singer. Vulnerability is the cornerstone of confidence. Oprah. When the ego weeps for what is lost, the spirit rejoices for what is found. Ancient proverb. You laugh until you sob, and then you sob until you laugh. Esther Perel. I sensed a pathway to love myself back to healing. Tara Brach. When we break our word to ourselves, what does that do to our self-confidence? Lewis Howes. Make a careful exploration of who you are and the work you've been given, and then sink yourself into that. Don't be impressed with yourself. Don't compare yourself with others. Each of you must take responsibility for doing the creative best you can with your own life. Galatians 6, 4, and 5, the Message Bible. Sometimes what you prevent is just as, if not more, important than what you create. Eddie Pinero. This is just a small sampling, just to kind of get your mind wandering and pondering. Create something beautiful today. Find joy in something small and wonderful. Be kind always, but mostly to yourself. Have a blessed day and keep on the good journey, fellow survivors. Thank you for joining me for today's episode of Trauma Survivorhood. This has been written and created by your host, Sara, a trauma recovery coach. For more info about me, trauma recovery resources, or to check out our support groups, classes, free survivor circles, private coaching, and more, visit www.fullcirclewellspring.com. Schedule a complimentary 20-minute discovery call to see if coaching is right for you. For the latest info on schedules and updates, follow us on Facebook at Full Circle Wellspring. All other media, social links, blogs, and show notes are posted in the episode guide below. Until next time, be well, survivors.